This is Ben from Testive, and we're answering an SAT reading graphic question. This says the passage and graphic support which of the following claims? All right, so where it says support which of the following claims, that means only one of these claims is supported by the passage and graphic. It doesn't say best supported, it says support, so it's only one is going to be supported. That doesn't mean that the other three couldn't be true. They might be true. We just don't really have evidence for them. Okay. So let's start by I guess let's just start from the beginning. The increase in California's drought has primarily occurred at the worst end of the spectrum. So basically, this is going to mean we should go to the graphic because the spectrum of drought is what is shown in that table, right? We have the D0 to D4, right? We have abnormally dry, moderate, severe, extreme, and exceptional. So the worst end of the spectrum is exceptional drought. We can see by the color coding and by the description. That's the worst. And it's saying that over the past year, the increase has primarily occurred at the worst end of the spectrum. So I guess what we would expect is if we look at 1 year ago to today, when this was written, we'd be looking for the greatest increase in D4 or D3 as opposed to in D0 or D1. Now, to me, it's totally clear that this is the case. If we look at D0 to D4, it doesn't change that much once you include D0. 100 to 99, it actually went down by a tiny bit in that part. Whereas in D4, it went up from 23.49 to 44.32. So it's increased by by just over 20 percentage points, the exceptional drought conditions. That doesn't mean that the overall area in the state, the drought has increased overall. We know that it has, but we do know that in terms of where it has increased, it's in the exceptional drought category as opposed to the other categories. And in fact, if we really do the math, we can see that's maybe the only one that's really increased. So we can already choose this as our correct answer. But let's also just take a quick look at, let's say, an example of one other thing to rule out. Had we looked at, say, areas with no drought conditions are not affected by the water shortage. Well, we don't have any evidence that just because an area doesn't have any drought conditions. So if there's an area on the map, for example, where there's no drought, like this little area right here, does that mean they're not affected by the water shortage? No, we don't know that. They might get water from an aquifer, for example, that's in another area of the state. We don't know that the governor didn't direct an executive order to their local water supply agency to reduce water use. He might have done that even though they don't have a drought in that specific area. So that's what it means when it says that it might be true. It may be that they're not affected at all, but we can't find evidence for it. We can't support it. So we have to choose the only thing that has support.